Hi, it's Daisy. I wanted to make a video to put up because I realized that I hadn't put a video where I'm like talking up in like 2 years. The last video that I put up was about the Free the Nipple movement and about three cops that had come to my home when I was topless on my back porch for my birthday. um, and so a lot has happened in my personal life, I guess, in the last 2 years that, in regards to my mental health and stuff, and I guess my physical health, because I suffered femoral nerve damage like 3 years ago. They didn't know if I was going to walk again. And I think the last time I made a video, I was still on crutches and had very limited movement in my legs and feeling. And I am happy to show, and I think my last video I posted was me hooping, but I can, jump now, and I can kind of jog, and I can kick my legs out and stuff. I worked the physical therapy super hard and did acupuncture, and I'm super lucky that I have gone as good as I have. In terms of my mental health, I've tried a few new things in the past year that didn't have great turnouts. I did ECT, which is the shock treatment therapy that a lot of people don't realize still happens, because it actually has like a 60-70% success rate. I did that last summer. I started in August after I had a suicide attempt. I went to Mass General Hospital, the best, and the way that they do it is that you do 3 treatments a week for about a month. So I had to take like a month, maybe 2 months off of work. I do dog walking, and my clients were very understanding. I was very honest with them, that I have to try this to deal with my depression. So if for anyone that has considered ECT or doesn't know a lot about it, I'm going to explain it. You have to go in very early in the morning. It's like you go to the surgery department of the hospital, and they, you can't eat or drink past midnight the night before, and they put you under anesthesia, and then they do the shock treatment, and then you wake up like an hour or two later, and you can't drive home. You need someone to pick you up. And they put this like gel on your hair, on your head, so that they can like attach the whatever things that create the seizure. So then afterwards you have this like sticky stuff in your hair. So they do that for a month, and then they switch to like twice a week, and then eventually once a week. So I was doing it for probably less than 6 months. I'm very bad at remembering that sort of thing. I did notice an improvement with my depression. I was less focused on the bad and more motivated in my life. So it was definitely helping me to be less depressed. But ECT also causes a lot of memory loss, short-term mainly. For me, some has been long-term as well, but you forget words. I forgot the word respect like last week. You're just like kind of fumbling, trying to remember. You're like, I know the word, what is it? And so you forget like basic words. You forget things that happened very recently. Someone could say something to you, and then you forget it like immediately after. So I came to a point where I had to decide whether I was going to continue doing this treatment, even with that side effect, or stop. And what made me stop was that I had this amazing weekend or day, I forget, with a friend that we were at a lake, we were kayaking or hula hooping, hammocks, my dog, lots of fun. And then I saw that person like a week later and I said, oh my God, it's been so long. They said, I saw you on Saturday. Remember we did this and this and this? And like, oh, that sounds familiar, but I couldn't really quite remember. You know, it was like a vague, foggy memory that was triggered only by her telling me about it. And I just decided, what's the point of doing this treatment and being alive if it doesn't matter if I'm happy if I'm not remembering these memories right after they happen? You know, I want to be, that's the whole point. I want to gather new, great, happy memories to, you know, override all the bad ones I've had in my life. So I stopped doing ECT treatment, and I went on Zoloft, which was not quite working. And then right before New Year's Eve, the day before New Year's Eve this year, or I guess technically 2018, I tried to kill myself again, and I ended up in the hospital. And afterwards, I decided to try TMS therapy, which stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation, which is a lot newer than ECT is. ECT has been around for fucking ever. So TMS, there's no memory loss. That it's very similar, but you don't need to go under. You're awake for it. You can drive yourself there and back. It only takes like 5 minutes when you're in there, but you need to go 5 days a week for 40 sessions. So I did that, and they give you a survey every 2 weeks to fill out, you know, basic, you know, stuff to determine how depressed and suicidal and anxious you are, I guess. And I wasn't seeing any improvement. I did get approved for a second round of treatment by my insurance, but I asked the doctor at the end of it all if, you know, what the percentage, how often do people that didn't, you know, get a positive result the first time get one the second time? And honestly, the treatment is so new that they don't have, you know, a very good answer for that. But he did say that oftentimes it doesn't work for people that it didn't work the first time, especially if there was like no improvement. He said sometimes people that have like a little bit of improvement will get some the second time, but I may have gone worse, honestly. So I stopped that treatment a couple months ago, and it's difficult. I've been in therapy for 11 years now. I've been probably hospitalized twice a year for the last 10 years. I've tried so many different medications. I tried ketamine infusion therapy, which I think I talked about in another video of mine, or maybe I just talked about recreational ketamine. But, you know, I tried that experimental treatment with the ketamine infusion, which was out of pocket, you know, $3,000, and tried EMDR therapy. I've tried the TMS now, the ECT. So I'm kind of at a point where I need to decide what else to try. You know, I still think about suicide pretty much every day. A lot of times in great detail. Planning, like real planning. Trying to think, you know, when and where and, you know, how to order the things that I would use to kill myself and whatnot. What I would write in my letter. You know, I've written suicide notes before. And it's scary. It's really powerful feelings that I can't imagine how so many people in the world don't struggle with this. People with borderline feel their emotions so intensely. It is just so uncomfortable in your body to feel it. And when I was in high school and suicidal, which was much more focused on hating myself because everyone else hated me. Because I was a slut and a whore and I was crazy. Thank you. But now I don't want to kill myself because of the things other people say about me. It's because I hate the fucking world how it is right now. These strict abortion laws that are being passed in the South right now, fucking Handmaid's Tale shit. Trump is the president. No one gives a shit that there's trash in the ocean and that China's not taking our fucking recycling anymore. So basically, even if you're recycling, it's not getting fucking recycled. Like, people need to start really thinking about the things that they buy and the choices that they make, and no one gives a shit to make the extra effort. A lot of people are just blind to shit, and I feel so much, I care so much that it is so extremely overwhelming, and it just makes you want to be like, fuck it. If I just die, I don't need to think about this shit anymore or feel this shit anymore. And it's all going up in flames anyway, so who cares? But then on the other hand, you're like, people in my life tell me you need to stay alive because you care about this shit. You can help make change and you can influence so many people in your life. But, it feels like it just falls on deaf ears a lot of the time. So I've done a thing that my therapist have told me, just try and look forward to the things I've planned, near in the future. Summer's coming. I have lots of things planned. Trip to Iceland, festival in Vermont, a concert in New York. I'm trying to just look forward to the things immediately in front of me. Or not immediately, but, medium term. And speaking to that, one of my therapists said, because I get so wrapped up in all these things that I'm worried about all the time in the future, connected to me, connected to the world, he said, I want you to make a list of all those things, all the things that you have to do, that you want to do, big life events that you're worried about, like facing, like my grandmother dying or my dog dying or moving or whatever. And he said, I want you to categorize them in 3 lists. Short term, which could be a couple months. Medium term, like 3 to 9 months or 3 to 11 months. And then long term, like a year plus. And so I actually put that off for a couple months. And then when I finally did, I finally wrote them all down and put them in these categories. And I wrote the date on them. I knew, like, okay, I'm writing this on March 15th. And this is my 1 to 2 month thing. And all these things I need to get done in the next 2 months. Okay, cool. I just need to focus my energy on those. And then the medium term things I can kind of like have in the back of my head, but they're not the main focus. And that really helped make me feel like there were steps, because I'm good at, writing lists or whatever and check. I like that. That motivates me. But trying to decide what to do with my mental health in terms of, do I go back to taking Zoloft? Do I try microdosing mushrooms as my form of antidepressant? Do I go and do an ayahuasca ceremony, which I was invited to one in June, and I've never done it before, but all the people I know that have done ayahuasca ceremonies or do them are the most grounded, centered, level-headed fucking people I know. And that can help them just work through their traumas or things in their life, put things in perspective. And as someone that, loves mushrooms and sees a lot of benefits from psilocybin, that is kind of the direction I'm thinking about going in, but I need to do some more research on. But, that is a slightly costly direction to go in, because medication, pills are paid for by my insurance. But unless I'm growing mushrooms, which I can't at my grandmother's, then, you gotta buy them. But it's things to consider, so I guess I just wanted to do a video kind of catching people up on the continuation of my mental health journey the past 2 years. That was a short summary. Just kind of focusing on the treatments I've tried, and what I'm thinking about trying, because I know there's a lot of people out there that, are dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with, and medication doesn't work for everyone. ECT doesn't work for everyone. You gotta be real lucky to have the first thing you try work. So it is work for us to find the thing that will work for us for the foreseeable future, or forever, hopefully. So that's all. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments or inbox me or whatever. Mwah! Daisy does it.